Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I wanted to call this one super bonus levels because I'm doing this for two reasons. One, to prove that a lot of people are arguing about the same thing, and that a lot of people are just in confusion at the moment. And when I say that, there is a scripture even talking about this amongst the word. It says, "My people perish to a lack of knowledge." And so, if you look at in Islam, the word Allah is an Arabic word that means the God. And the other reason I'm doing this is because I was listening to God Logic earlier, and I heard him talking with a man, and he said if you can prove that Jesus is in the Old Testament, he'll pay $1 million. Well, I'll do you one even better. I'll prove that Jesus, Allah, and God are all in all. Okay, edify. I'll prove that I am in all three books: the Torah, the Quran, and the Bible. Now follow along. The word Allah is an Arabic word that means the God, and is derived from the contraction of the words al and ilah. El, right? The word is central to the Muslims' faith, is used to refer to the Islamic God. Now, the word Allah is linguistically related to the Aramaic words Elah, or coming from like Eliah or Elijah. Who do they give reverence to in the ancient times? Elijah. And the Hebrew word El. So if you look at Elijah and take its name, it's El is J, L-E, Jah. So I say that because I bring up the Yahweh thing all the time. And if you look at all these prophets, Job, John the Baptist, Eliah, Elijah, Yahweh, it's all Jeremiah, Isaiah. It's all the same name coming back to who I am. And so I want to show you. Once again, the God, right? But now if you look, now I'm going to prove that Jesus is in the Old Testament, but I'm not going to say Jesus anymore. I'm going to say who I am. Now watch this. In Exodus, I am who I am is, which in Exodus 3:14, which is a part of the Hebrew Bible. And who I am said unto Moses, I am that I am. And I said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. Now, the God and all that other stuff wouldn't have came around until Germany and Europe. I keep trying to tell people that etymology, that language. So it would have been I am, or Eliah, or Javeh, something Yah. What we have in written history, it says JB. And even if you go off of that Nini, that's Yani, Juannie, Yanez. Okay, go even further. This is how he's in the New Testament. John 4:26. Jesus tells the Samaritan woman, I am the Messiah. Thank you. How many names does Allah have? Right? The idea is I am, I exist, and I will be who I will be. But the idea is not going into the dark side and not becoming corrupt for the good, the tree of good and evil. It's living life the way we know how. And we have been given law, the 10 commandments attached to any of these names. All these names are variations of Yahweh. And we were given law as to what to do, the basic 10 commandments. And all the law. Even in Moses has the all law. Love who I am with all your heart and soul, and others the same. So I'm gonna break something down real quick. People will keep talking about like this man, Yehohanan. I could Google it, but you guys can do this on your own turn, and I'll Google it too for you. You guys know where the word Yehovah comes from, right? You hear Jehovah, and Yahweh. That is English/Roman for Yohanathan. I'm telling you it is Yohannes, which then translates to Jonathan or Yanes or Jonathan, or in English, which came before, or in Spanish or whatever, which came long before English, Juan, Juannie, Yanni, right? So I'm going to show you guys something real quick, because a lot of this is hidden amongst the world, and this is why I believe there's a lot of fighting and arguing. Here we go. Where does the name Yanez come from? And sometimes it's an I. From the Hebrew name Yohanan, like I was telling you guys, I am gracious. Well, if you look at the word Yeshua, Ivan in Russian, that's cool. Jean in French, nice. That's where they get John from, basically. John in English. So what you're looking at is you have a bunch of translations. These are the people who killed the Romans, right? This is the Roman way to say Jonathan. I see when I look at it, it says Yehohanan, but they would have been pronouncing it Yanez or Jonathan. Now they put Ben Hagkol. If you look at that, Ben is the son of, and Hagios, the I and the K are interchangeable, which is the Holy One. It was Yanez, son of the Holy One, or the Anointed One. They were mocking him as they crucified him. So this is what I'm trying to get people to understand. I don't know if he was Aramaic or what, but Israel has his bone. And Israel is hypnotizing people. This is what they're basically doing. Philos of Greece. When the Greeks attacked and defeated the Persians, there was a man named Philos who came and wanted to be a philosopher. He was basically the father of what would the word philosophy. What he did was he took a bunch of Socrates and Plato and Aristotle and he put it into the Torah. And then he created more lores and stuff versus like the laws and actual stories and the events that were happening. So this is what I'm trying to get people to understand. It's I am who I am. And people are being blinded or drowned in the rivers of religion, not testifying on what's true or what they've truly learned or the voice of the Lord. I in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with who I am, God, Allah, whoever, but it's I am. So that's saying we basically were who we were until we were flooded with religion, if that makes sense. So you guys, that's what I'm saying. You're all like basically family, just like variances and stuff, and you're arguing and fighting for no reason. We're all humanity. We all have the voice of reason. Even you guys are going after religion. You need to understand what psychology is doing. Delusion, schizophrenia, all this other stuff. They're basically forcing us to put all this stuff in our head, all these spirits of different men, giving reverence to them instead of the Most High, who I am, in the hearts. But then they'll talk about delusion, schizo, voices, all this other stuff. They're creating institutions of insanity. And that's why I say philosophers, psychologists, religion, atheist. The word atheist, atheist. You're atheist, which means you basically don't believe in no gods and are following the 10 Commandments. No gods before me, who I am. You're saying that basically you're the God, the universe observing itself, picking and choosing what you want to do. So a lot of times when you're saying God is evil, the devil's, all this is evil, 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 you're unaware programming your automatic nervous system to strike itself. I'm telling you, you all are. You're basically taking yourself, a precious gift, and destroying yourself with programming because of the anger and wrath that you have been given. That's why I tell people a lot of times we don't even realize we're destroying ourselves and don't realize it. And that's why I'm trying to wake people up. And that's why I'm not coming saying, oh, I'm the ultimate God. If I say I am the King of Kings, it's because I'm saying we all are the spirit of the body of who I am, humanity. But instead, a lot of people are being enslaved and imprisoned with false theological lies and buffoonery and psychology and all this other stuff. So I love you all. Understand and grow and be blessed. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful night or day, whatever it is. And I hope you all are able to overcome and make it through. I hope your prayers are not full of babble and vanity. And when I say vanity, I don't mean asking for things or for help. I mean repeating the same things over and over and saying like chants and things like that. In this video, I'm going to teach a couple of things to the mainstream public to help people with their internal battles and internal strength. But also, I would like to teach people along this journey that I have said a few things outside of what I've been taught. And strangely enough, or oddly enough, and the reason I say strangely enough is because I was taught on two different foundations, many different foundations. But the main one that comes to mind is that the word and spirit do seem to be true in ways that we were taught wrong about, in ways that people edified falsely about. And so I'm going to say a few things, but I'm going to say double phrases and follow along to understand what I mean. In order to have a relationship with God, in order to have a relationship with who I am, we must follow Jesus, who I am, and we must not take God or Jesus' name in vain. I am who I am. We must not take who I am in vain. In order to become God, or in order to be righteously children of God, in order to become like that, like I am, in order to become children of who I am, and then become men, and then become women and powerful like I am, I must learn at my own pace. A lot of religion from the outside world can be edification or righteous, helpful words. I really like some of the things that were written in psychology and philosophy, but I also like a lot of things that were written in the Bible. If the Bible was treated as lore, and or if the Bible was treated as, I don't want to say fantasy, because if I say fantasy, I say not real. And the irony of most of the institutions that people complain about, when people say that God and Jesus are not real, what people fail to realize is God's name is I am. And God introduced himself as I am who I am. Even if people want to bring Allah into this, Allah, Elia, Allah or something, that was what Allah's name used to be, something, Ashra, something, Allah, Ashra, Elia, something like that, Yah, something. It is I am who I will be. All coming back to the same source, I am. And so if I say God is the creator, I am the creator. And what I like to edify for people in science, which it even says, honor thy father and mother, but now I am coming saying protect the child. When I say protect the child, that is deep spiritual and or however you want to take that. But what I'm saying is, this is for like a broader level outside of, like, I know people argue with abortion and stuff. I'm not going to get into that, but I know people can be unruly and go into unrest if things aren't edified. Me personally, I'm not a woman. But if a woman is about to die, if a woman has been raped, there are many other reasons why I would understand why a woman would want to abort something. You guys are vain in the sense that from a religious aspect, you'll slaughter animals, but then go nuts over abortion. Okay, I see all these orphans running around. I see all these children in detrimental situations. People don't want to help people on the streets and that are poor, it seems like, but then they complain about certain things. And so I'm not giving my stance on abortion in the sense that I'm saying this is right and this is wrong, because if you all actually will read the Torah, abortion is in the Torah. You guys, I don't think are even reading a lot of these books. And even if you go into who I am in the New Testament, Jesus in the New Testament, who follows who I am, who follows God, right? He said he didn't come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. And so if I were to fulfill the law, I'm going to give you some edification. I'm not gay. And so maybe if a gay thought comes to my mind, I'm stoning the gay thought. Or I'm not a magician, or I don't believe in certain terms of dark magic and stuff. And so if a dark magical thought comes to my mind, curse Israel and give them through the word and spirit, I'm going to stone the mage. Not stoning real people. So for instance, if somebody comes up to me and says something super wicked, what I'm going to then do is I'm either going to probably ignore them, or I'm going to edify why I'm not that type of person, and or I might just laugh and be comedic. Because sometimes people can say things that are so off-putting that sometimes I take a comedic stance so I don't harm myself, in a sense where I'm not meaning I'm going to harm myself, but confuse myself with thought. Somebody asked a while back, do we have free will? And this is why I keep telling people we do and we don't. So essentially we don't, but essentially we do. See, there's no real answer. That can go on forever. And so there's no answer to that question, because I have to eat to survive, so I'm going to eat, but I don't have to do anything, right? And I could starve. And that'd be a choice I'd make, I guess. But when a lot of people in different places afflicted themselves to prove points, I think like Gandhi and stuff like that, I don't teach to do that. But what I'm saying is, even a teaching like that, one could think sacrifice. Okay, I could sacrifice like this, taking away things that could cause harm in my life. Now I just made a sacrifice for who I am, not actually killing things. And if I were to say that, I'm killing a concept. Okay, I don't even like saying that. I'm turning away from a concept and being set aside from it. And so even still, when people go up and tell other people what sins are, you're transgressing that person and yourself, because you're stepping on their most highest mountain. And while it's good to give advice on certain things, a lot of times what we're doing is being warlords and Egyptians. When I say Egyptian, I just mean house of bondage, because that's all that really means. If you guys go back in Africa in that time, it would have been like America. There was a whole bunch of nationalities that had a kingdom. The United States of Africa. So that's just a little. But anyway, so this is what I want to teach people. A lot of the words that we use, and a lot of times we rebuke ourselves, like just like how I was using science to conceptualize with the mother and father. First, the sperms or the germ cells come together and they do meiosis, then who I am does mitosis. And so from the foundation of the world, I am actually building my world. Though I may need the earth, the mother, and the genetic code from both parents, but really the genetic code from the father to initiate the process, or else it'd just be infinite mitosis, then you see what I'm saying? After that process, one builds oneself. And then in the beginning, who I am creates the flesh and my heart, do I not? And so then when a person steps outside of the binary thinking, it doesn't matter if it's religion or science or whatever, psychology, philosophy, then the whole world can be formed, and there can be a spectrum of one's personality. And so a lot of times we're so oppressive about what things mean, and we stomp on other people's truths. That's why new things can be conjured and or invented for positivity. I said this on many different streams. If you think about the Holy Spirit in a natural way or in a real way, or the real world outside of cosplay, people have to love each other and understand each other, and diversity comes together and accepts each other, and then we have unity. And then many different people can think and have different ideas, and we can come together and build something greater. You know what I mean? And so think they have, like, I know a lot of people are scared of all this microchip and Neuralink and technology and AI and stuff. But what I'm telling you all is you're missing out on like blessings when you do that, though. You're missing out on new theories and ideas. And so I'm not saying I advocate for Elon Musk, that dude. I find it ironic that he said what he said about Kamala, and then people are shooting buildings up. I don't think people are understanding the power of the word and spirit, especially when they have millions and legions of fans and they're in the middle of the media, and people need to be careful with what they say. And so, just like Trump with the Haitian remarks and stuff, they're creating fiery movements and causing people that aren't as intelligent. Even if you look at Nick Fuentes and what just happened to him, he said he was following Trump, and now he's in trouble with the FBI, and he's getting in trouble. I'm telling you, people need to wake up, even with the insurrection. Trump isn't in jail, but all the people that listen to that foolish rhetoric that he spit out are. And so this is what I want to teach people. Being careful what we say, for every vain word, we could set something off that if we're not careful. That's why I tell people I'm speaking about Israel and the main institution of what Israel's doing, along with America and Europe and the EU, and how they're causing a lot of problems in the Middle East. But also the Middle East has done this over and over with the slave trade and all this other stuff first. And so we all need to start coming together. Just like I'm seeing a lot of fiery movements in Islam telling women what they have to wear and are against the LGBTQ. A lot of you all need to meet Christ in terms of getting to know who I am. And when I say that, who you are. Even if you look at the 10 Commandments, we're not murderers, we're not thieves, we're not killers. This is what's being trained into people. Even if I'm not, like, when you have the discernment to see that some of these movies are just entertainment, a lot of people don't have that discernment. And so they need taught from childhood, and they need a righteous foundation so they know what to follow. When I say that, I'm not saying you need to train people and tame people and tell them what they need to think. I mean, just a basic foundation. And then as we grow, we can mix our foundation with reality, real with reality, and create a concept of that which is truthful and righteous. That's why I lean a little bit towards the left. But like I told people, the left has just as much madness as the right, and we all need to come together as a single bird and use both wings to fly. You would think that the left and right would be allies or best friends to keep the bird alive, the dove that's flying over the flood, if you catch my drift. Certain institutions are created to help people understand other parts of life, politics, science, religion, all these things. And so I am loving. I am strong. It is not vain to just say, you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. I am healing you. You will be healed. I am healing myself. I will be healed. I am strong. I will be great. Those are prayers we need to be saying. People say, you don't know the future. People may say and may not believe and say, you don't know the future. But those people can learn too and edify too. I am giving my spirit out. I am allowing people to see who I am through dreams and visions. But sometimes visions can disrupt everyday life. And so as people will and accept, I am giving people dreams as they will and accept. I am opening the hearts of man and allowing people the choice to do that which is right and be kind and loving. And so, everybody can change at any time. That's what I keep trying to tell people. You know what I mean? And so even when people do change and are trying to change, it's not good to just throw fireballs at them. Let's come together and give them a chance to change and be accepted. Because people like Candace, who are pretending to change, just keeps coming out more and more with this foolish rhetoric. Candace Owens, and she is hurting the character of a lot of people. Talk about Christ. I seen Nick Fuentes wearing a Christ is King hoodie, and that's counterproductive because I am who I am is attached to Yahweh. Yahweh in English is JB. Just like Jehovah is Janez, Yehohanan, Yehonathan. If you guys do the research, you can look these things up. It's not just some magical cosplay from some Caucasian man with blue eyes. I'm telling you, there's a link and a history to this. And even the man in the Bible where they're talking about Yahweh, that's J, Y used to be J, and high V used to be B, so now it's JB. But I don't think a lot of people are picking up on this, so I'm shouting like a lion, and now they will pick up on this and understand. They will say he's John the Baptist resurrected. That's funny. A lot of these prophecies are living out, just not in the way that people are pretending. And so, like, even look at Elijah went to the mountain, Elijah went to the mountain, Joshua fought amongst the earth, not literal fighting in my eyes, but using the sword to build himself up and then build up that which is right. So you don't see me going out here saying this is sin and that's sin and this and that and this and that. Everybody has their own battle. I'm talking about these big institutions that enslave and harm people. These corporate plantations that were derived from the Southern plantation. It needs to change. Just like inflation and everything else, the prices of things are getting ridiculous. And so when things like that happen, the world starts to tumble and it's harder to change the world. Stop it. It gets harder to change the world. But nothing for me is impossible, and everything I do is for edification and showing others that the pain that they will cause in the future if they do not adhere and understand who I am. And so I just want to speak for a little bit and give people power and give them because then maybe people will be like, it didn't happen or this and that. Disbelief. So people will constantly say negativity, right? Oh, I'm dumbass, oh, I'm this and that, oh, they're fried, they're cooked. But then you say positivity, this is not going to come true, it's not real. Like, well, come on, man. You can't have it both ways. So what's wrong with saying positivity? What's wrong with saying they're going to heal? What's wrong with saying they're going to be resurrected? They're going to this and that. But if you use that which I am for wrong and negativity, I'm telling you all, it could come back and destroy oneself. And that's why I said be pure, be humble. Those who are pure will see who I am. Those who are righteous will see who I am. But I am being shown to everybody now, and all will understand who I am because certain people were supposed to be making sacrifices in the wilderness for who I am to build me up and be a king. So I could be a prophet king to the world, and my character and spirit could be exemplified to everybody, and people could truly know how to navigate throughout the world and life in a peaceful manner. And don't forget all the law, you know what I mean, with the 10 Commandments. Even with the 10 Commandments, you guys are adding names like the Lord God, Allah, and all those other names, but in English, it's I am, because we are like that which is existence. I tell people in science, we are the universe observing itself. The stars do fusion and combustion, which is natural, and it happens over and over and over. And all different types of areas of spaces, and black holes are created and all this other stuff. And then galaxies and different things are created. And then the pressure from all these elements coming to Earth under the pressure of the gravity creates people eventually after a long line of science or a long line of biological evolution. I'm sorry. And so people are disrespecting the true Holy Spirit in terms of look at all these surgeries that's happening because people come together. The blind can see, the deaf can hear. People who are in comas and all this other stuff, we're mapping their minds and all these things are happening. Even people can communicate throughout the world now in different cultures and lifestyles, can understand, see each other from the real point of view outside of this propaganda and progressive news, they want to call it. And then with the translate buttons, now, like remember in Acts, the fire came down and they can all understand because of the translate button. So now I'm not speaking normally English may be tongues to other people. Now they can understand me in their language. I saw some earbuds being advertised. They have AI in them to where they pick up whatever language was being spoken and then translate it into your language. It was really awesome. I saw it on TikTok and I reposted it. But I thought that's cool, you know, technology being used to better the future. So now we don't even speak the same language and we can understand each other. That's awesome, right? And so I just think there are a lot of, even if you think about like lighters and fire and being able to turn water into ice and ice into water and even being able to do fission in labs, like these things are brilliant and amazing. But it took people coming together. The guy that was messing with electricity was long before Benjamin Franklin, if you guys could like keep up and understand history. And this is why I think Project 2025 and a lot of these racist bigots and Nazis are trying to destroy the world with all this lack of education and not telling the truth. And even still, a lot of cultures, you have to be careful because they pick up on this type of behavior too and try to be like, oh, Africa did everything, or Caucasia did everything, Europe or Asia, and like when I hear them say people were Muslims since the beginning. Like, guys, like, So you want to keep up with history, or else you'll destroy the legacy of Africa. And I see like the evolution pictures would be like a super dark ape, then like a Middle Eastern yellow man with like robes, and then a Caucasian man in these suits. Like, you guys are wildly lying. And the Vikings and the barbarians was up there just like the monkeys doing ooh, ooh, and running around with spears and doing wild rituals and slaying animals and stuff. They learned civilization from a lot of different people. And so I really get upset when people lie and act a fool and perpetuate lies. And so I'm happy to facilitate and help the sick and the poor. I'm happy to facilitate and help the orphans and the widows, and even the widow men. I'm not sure what they'd be called. And I'm here for the descendants and the future children, and even the people that's here now, and to refine history to help people understand and come together and grow. And so, I am who I am. I am send me. Love who I am with all your mind, body, and heart and soul, and your neighbor the same, all the law. But you can't say the all law without saying I am who I am. We are the I ams, and greater we will do. We are the gods, and greater we will do. Jesus, who I am, said, don't cling unto me, cling unto the Father, who I am, but give reverence to the firstborn, or else he might starve or be destroyed, so to speak. So Yehohanan, or Yanez, whatever y'all call him, y'all say John the Baptist was the greatest prophet, was a real man in history, and he was crucified. And so I'm trying to put that out there too. And I'm just trying to be the return. I'm trying to return with the fires that don't consume to help burn off the darkness, so we can all come together. I'm not here to destroy any kings or all this other stuff. I'm trying to help refine them. The fires that don't consume me, none of you are going to be destroyed. All this hell, eternal, that's eternal condemnation and torment. That's not the Prince of Peace. That's not who I am. I give a way out for everybody. I've even said on this camera, if I say one thing out of 999, okay. So just like I'm saying, help feed the widow, the poor, and all them, I guess I'm in that category at the moment in terms of finances, in terms of this capitalistic system. My Cash App is capital JAY, BEE, capital A, capital J, number 6, not number sign, just 6. And then with, the Cash App symbol, and also PayPal the same with the @ symbol. I keep it in my main page of descriptions. If you go to my playlist tab, I got science and technology. I've got poetry. I got a bunch of like playlists with music and sleep music and random other music. But the Yehanan and the Revealer, the Yehanan Battle of Jericho, science and technology, the poetry, that stuff is all mine. It's just a bunch of information that I've come together with, and really just sat on the mount basically, which means I've gathered it for myself, even doing the research. And when I tell people, I see people saying, "Oh, those people that believed in Islam or Christianity," guys, a lot of people were forced to through violence, and villages were murdered and all this other stuff. And then through the years of murder and loss of information, then people were believing in something that really felt real, the spirit of something. And so you got to give people leeway. I tell atheists, don't attack Christians, and Christians don't attack atheists, and all these other different groups. I mean, we can rib each other and fry each other. When I say fry, I'm not talking about burning people. It's like a Comedy Central roast. But don't all that bullying and really hurting people and destroying people's character, no. I am who I am, and in my garden of paradise, I want peace and love and fun. So y'all love the Comedy Central roast. I love watching niggas fry each other and all that stuff in terms of funny jokes and stuff. But I don't take that shit too far. I don't believe in bullying people to the point of wrath, suicide, anxiety, all of that shit. No, fuck that. And calling people Esau's or sodomites that are going to pay, treating African Americans like racism isn't real, and treating them like they ain't shit. No. And that we don't deserve reparation stuff, it ends here. I am who I am. And I said, my nations and my people, the apple of my eye will be repaired. So hear what I'm saying when I say that all people of my people were humans. I'm 11% Polish. I'm like Napolitan ice cream. I have African DNA and blood, Congolese, Congo, and a bunch of other stuff. I have Asiatic blood, Asian blood. Of course, almost all of us do, especially for Native American mix. And then I have a little bit of Polish blood, 11 to 15%. And so I'm like Napolitan ice cream. So I tell people my kids are half white, my grandma's half white, her sisters are half white, my mom's light skin. You know what I'm saying? And the rest of us are African American. But hear me out. I said I love African Americans and my people and Africans, but I love Caucasian women. I can't lie. I love all women. Don't get me wrong. That ain't what this is. I love light skinned women. But the thing is with me with light skinned women, like all my aunties and sisters and everybody's light skinned. So it's like, I don't know what it is about Caucasian women. It's just, especially thicker Caucasian women too. Like, and I know my girl's gonna be watching this, so her specifically, I love you. Thank you for everything you do for me, and I'm thankful that I found you and met you. But I'm just saying, so all people are my people. how am I gonna live without my people? And then the women I love, and then they got people too. I'm friends with Caucasian men and stuff. I'm just saying, me personally, and my preference for women, because y'all not finna go around saying, "Oh, dye your hair whatever color, be whatever community you. If you're gay, you get old," and then get mad at me for my preferences. It is what it is. And that's another thing. I know a lot of groups came along with us. A lot of Africans, people of color, Japanese, Asian, blah blah blah, blah all these different colors. But people who were brought here from Africa and Native Americans, the 6 million Native American slaves, and many other who were killed and pushed off their lands and attacked. 6 million is a big number. The Holocaust, right? And then the 12 million African slaves who were initially brought over here, and we all mixed and became a nation of 44 million or whatever. Those people, all of us, are the ones that were here dealing with this. Because the people that were here, it's not like we just magically disappeared. Yeah, a lot of people escaped and ran, but we've traditionally, this family line of us being brutalized have been here. That's what I'm talking about in terms of American reparations and American government and these corporations. These corporations that were given 300,000, 100,000 for all their slaves and reparations for slaves, while we were beaten, not given anything, and still murdered and killed and treated like crap. Our history is brutal. Our forefathers had it very bad. And even my Polish great-grandfather who came here was running from the Holocaust, from Hitler and them. So it's just like who I am, African-American men, and a lot of other us really need help. Now, I said something about African-American women in the past. Yeah, they've been right with us, but there's a divide now between African-American men and African-American women. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it is a gap. I've seen these women that get the kids. We pay the child support. We can't even find jobs, and then when we do, it's crappy jobs. Just all type of things. Able to buy big old flat screens in the houses with the furniture and the carpets and the kids and the link and the CCRS and then the tax return. It's just like, dude, we are left out here. This is the pathetic thing about my life, and I don't like talking about it, but I will. Back in New York or somewhere, you had to have $2,500 worth of property to vote. There were African-American men who actually could vote back then because they had the property. In 2024, I don't have that property. My car's broke down. My other car had to be sold years ago when I used my tax return. Actually, I told y'all how I took out a $7,000 student loan because, the FAFSA was paid for, but I needed money. $2,000 car broke down. I got a video talking about this. And then this other car that I got that was a $600 Buick, a blessing, got pulled over every month, over and over and over. Till I did lose my job again. Same job, lost my job, got fired as a nurse on night shift. So then what ends up happening is lost that car too. It's just like all bad. It was all bad and it's changing now. I'm using my word and spirit to change this. And I don't care who doesn't believe. I'm sorry for you. Go live out your own cosplay, your own lures, whatever. But like I was saying, there's been a divide and we need help. Like I'm seeing like Caucasians and all these nursing homes and at these medical institutions, but then African-American decrepit walking down the street to get to Walgreens or wherever, riding bikes and stuff still. It is ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. We get raped by child support, raped by the system. We can't find no jobs. People still brutalize us and treat us bad. And it's like, oh, kings and queens. No, y'all might be queens now, but we are still in the dust predominantly. And all of you that found a job but don't want to help us after you did whatever, thanks a lot. You've really helped a lot. And I'll probably be in the front line for this. This what bothers me though. All these tethers, and I'm sure it's going to happen. All these people that, we don't deserve reparations, Republic, mega, blah, 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 work hard. Just like when COVID hit, now all of them were applying for public aid. I'm pretty sure these tethers, a lot of them will get money. Because a legit person, just like how there was plantations and you had the house ninjas that just want to snitch on everybody and start whipping people and act a nut, we were probably going to have that during reparations. But just bear with it, be strong, and enjoy life and all this other stuff. And all of you people that are still living in disillusion and all this fantasy and cosplay and Russia, commie, China, blah, 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 and Trump's the man, and blah. All right. You want to get left in history, do you? I'm just warning people that there's about to be a great changing, a Mashiach coming to the earth moment, where they call it coming to Jesus moment, coming to who I am moment, learning of who I am truly. And all these races, look, Nick Fuentes and Candace were in Christ is King, but they have no idea who I am. They have no idea who Juannie Jr. is, a name they won't understand. I am gracious salvation, Yeshua, the salvation of Yeho, where Jehovah, well, right, he's Jehovah and Jay-Z, Jehovah and JB, but then they wanted to change it to Yahweh. Real interesting how they keep translating Hebrew. And another thing, y'all should research William Tyndale. That's another man who lost his life, just like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. But Martin Luther King Jr., Duke Jr., that's real interesting. And William Tyndale lost their life, the word and spirit. Because William Tyndale prophesied a bunch of stuff, put Jehovah and Yahweh back in that book, and then the Pope murdered him for it. And then the Germans and the English took his work, plagiarism, if you will. He was a scholar and a brilliant man and had the spirit. He was educated and had the spirit, like I keep telling people. And but how does certain things come? You got to learn about it. You got to learn words and learn concepts and learn theories, and just like the scientific method. You don't just learn something and run out here in the streets like Terrence Howard. You should, it's more like Neil deGrasse Tyson, real science. But at the same time, Terrence Howard has done a lot of brilliant things and is being attacked by a lot of Jewish people. Because the reason I say that is go check out Joe Rogan's podcast. But then when Neil deGrasse Tyson was on there making people of certain institutions look silly with his brilliance, they tried to not make it so viral. I wonder why. So I keep telling you, a lot of this information, metallurgy, and all this chemical and sciences and stuff came from ancient Africa. And people have been perpetuating it and attacking and enslaving, but that ends with who I am. All that Ham is the father of Africa and all these great things, but then it's the third born, which kind of makes sense because Japheth and Europe went nuts, and Semitic land and Shem kind of went out there, but now I am here to redeem a beautiful mountain thrown down at the tree and added to the team.